Alright, welcome back to Quartz Party, the second part, and we're going to be getting bread, it seems. That's the noise that Games Done Quick is streaming, Eternal Darkness. Alright, so let's go get that bread. Okay, it's just that I thought I was actually going to have to run and get it. I don't know if I didn't make it because I went too slowly, or I don't think so. I think he just doesn't make it though.
仕方ねえな。俺のエビフライ一本やるよ。うれ。
I showing up on meeting those of the magnificent golden fried
本
shrimp.
当か。悪いな。
Okay.
持田聡様ですね。
You must be Mr. Satoshi Mochida.
俺？はい、そうですけど。
お食事をお持ちいたしました。
What?
え？
Ah, Miss Kuan Nua, that was her name, must have done this. Wow, looks really good. The men in black handed over a lacquer box containing pork cutlet on rice with egg. Picture perfect in every way. It was my favorite meal down to the last detail. I really want pork cutlet now as well. Pizza pork cutlet with like the pizza stuffed inside, or even cheese is really great. Yoshiki, utterly dumbfounded, loosened his grip on the fried shrimp he was holding. It plummeted to the ground, defeated by this new contender. That's sad. Shrimp's good too. So they realize as well. So we're getting a few new characters in this one. Class rep. The classroom glowed with the golden hue of twilight, but my gaze was fixed at the floor. It must have been obvious to Nakashima that I had Nakashima that I had lost that I had a lot on my mind. Are you okay? She asked this as she sat down at the desk in front of me, facing backward. She was trying to comfort me, but she had dark circles around her eyes too. She and I must have looked very similar to one another from an outside perspective. My left hand was still wrapped in bandages. It throbbed incessantly, reminding me of the previous night's events. I ignored it as best as I could and forced an empty smile. But they didn't draw her left hand being wrapped, it seems. Maybe it's under her school uniform. So she was stabbing her left hand. I'm sorry. I couldn't bring myself to answer that. I just flashed another smile, a confusing one that must have looked very strange to her, and left the classroom. Class rep.
今出て行ったの篠崎か。
Ah. Huh? I thought Shinozaki was the last name of Sachiko. Maybe it was. Maybe they're related somehow or something. So she's Shinozaki Ayumi.
ナオミどうしたんだ？
委員長、なんだか思い詰めてるみたい。私たちでフォローしてあげた方がいいかも。
お前もだよナオミ。無理していないか？
大丈夫。辛いのは私だけじゃないし、私一人甘えてられないもの。委員長、変な気起こさなきゃいいけど。
As I walked, I thought back to my time in the hospital. I was lying in bed, arms and legs virtually mummified in bandages, when a woman with flowers came in to see me.
あら、
Yamamura.
そっくりですね。お姉ちゃんと。私は山村未来。
Right, the future.
あなたのお姉ちゃん、日野江と共にウィッカインスティテュートという精霊崇拝組合に所属しているものです。
お姉ちゃん。
はい。これはお見舞いです。
As she said this, she placed a bouquet of flowers on the small table by the bed and looked around the room with a curious expression on her face. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll start soon. There hasn't been much horror things happening yet.
ご両親が今いらっしゃらない？
お買い物に行っています。
そう。お父さんもお母さんもまだ知らないのですよね。日野江の死を。
Let me turn off notifications on my phone so this doesn't happen again.
彼女が命を落としたあの日、あなたを追って旧篠崎家跡地へ向かう前に、日野江は私に最後の連絡をくれていました。
姉ちゃんが。
きっと自分の運命を理解して、そして受け入れていたのね。精霊は人の死期を教えてくれるの。その分できる精一杯の行動と覚悟が持てる。彼女は立派だったわ。
Tears began to pour from my eyes, and I could do nothing to stop them. So it is a lot of backstory and stuff, and I understand the game's pretty much about the story, but I do... So it's kind of acceptable for this to happen, but kind of would like us to actually get into the game. I had been sitting up in bed, but unconsciously started to curl into a fetal position as best I could with the bandages. Yamamura put her hand on my back to comfort me.
あゆみちゃん、日野への意志を伝えるわ。黒の本、ブック・オブ・シャドウズを取り戻しなさい。代々篠崎家が守り続けてきた門外不出の禁忌の書よ。
Okay, so I need to get the Book of
あのような
Shadows.
心ないものの手に渡れば、この世は混乱の淵に落とされてしまう。私たち WI は精霊と心を通わせる自然の意志にただ沿おうとする白魔女の組合。ご両親の反対を押し切って篠崎家から飛び出した日野江は今さら関わるのをためらっていたのだけれど。
Alright, so it seems to be getting a little bit too much, like, everything's involved more than the contained, like, just in the school thing from the first one. Which, anime tends to do.
近年その存在を感じるようになってずっと気にしていたの。私とウィッカの仲間で調べたけれど、篠崎義恵と幸子の屋敷跡地にはなかったわ。更地だったはずのあの場所に焼け焦げた家の梁や瓦礫が現れていて驚いたけれどあの場所からは消えても感じるの。存在はまだ残っている。この世のどこかに。
Yamamura looked directly into my
この
eyes.
町にあなたや篠崎義恵と同じ篠崎家の血筋の方が住んでいたのは知っているかしら。
There's a girl, right? So they do share the same bloodline. Yamamura pulled a notepad from her pocket and carefully wrote a name and address on the top sheet. She then tore the page and handed it to me. Makina Shinozaki. I knew that name. It was on the family tree. Makina.
覚えている名前だ。
Yeah, in the Shinozaki estate's
義恵
basement.
の家の地下室にあった
His
篠崎の
grandmother
家系図。義恵の上に
had
乗
three
られた
daughters. The second
彼
was
女の
Makina.
母の妹、
So Yoshie's mother's
おばにあたる人。
younger sister. Yoshie's aunt. Don't remember
そ
who
の
Yoshie
牧野さん
is.
の家に行けば何か黒の本を取り戻すための手がかりが残されているかもしれない。私たちは霊に対する感受性が強すぎて部屋に入ることもできなかったわ。何が起こるかわからないけれど、日の絵の意志を継ぐ強さがあるのなら頑張ってみなさい。
And with that, Yamamura simply turned and left the hospital room.
意志。
On the other side of the door, a peculiar girl stood and waited. As soon as Yamamura had covered enough distance to put me out of earshot, the two of them spoke.
ご苦労様。
これでいいのね。
So sinister things are happening.
お前らが息をしているだけでこっちは虫唾が走るんだ。殺さないでやるからさっさと消え失せろ。
So they're trying to trick her into going back into the other realm, I'm guessing. Yamamura ran away as quickly as she could without drawing attention to herself. As if in response, the intimidating girl in the peculiar outfit spat on the hospital wall. Man, hard to find anyone
世
these
の中
days.
アホばっかり。
She's saying it.
篠崎日の簡単に死にやがってくっそ使えない。
It was time to meet my fate. I had no trouble locating Makina's residence. I don't know what I was expecting, but what I found was just an ordinary apartment building. I couldn't involve Mochida and the others in this. They'd been through enough already. Besides, this was a family matter. My bloodline was responsible for this whole mess, so it was only right that I be the one to make amends alone.
ここね。
This is the place, alright. She's saying it. Shimurajaku South Apartments.
ずいぶんボロボロ。これは何かの事情で取り壊されないまま放置されているのね。管理されているのかしら。
Yeah, oddly enough, that actually happens quite a bit. I saw quite a few buildings and apartments that they just like abandon development on and they just leave them there. because it would cost more money to actually tear them down. Unless somebody like wants to buy that land and retry to build something there. So I can finally save my game after all that stuff. I know it probably would be a bit quicker if I weren't trying to actually wait and like read it with everyone. But still took quite a long time. It's been almost 40 minutes since I started the game. Anti-slave slot. Let's do it on the first one. Let's see. Okay, I can't go that way because of that line.
これってやっぱり不法
Isn't
侵入
this
だよ。
trespassing?
気が引けるのと
I hate feeling so
落ち
conspicuous.
着かないや。急に扉が開いて「こら!」って怒鳴られたらびっくりして死んじゃうかも。
Yeah. Don't think that's the only thing you have to worry about. When a person gets truly startled, she's unable to move due to the combination of fear and, well, being put on the spot. It's like she's been planted to the ground. It may be human nature, but I hated not being in control of my actions. Nonetheless, there I was, a sitting duck, just waiting for someone to come down the stairs. Except no one did. The seconds ticked on, but I was pretty definitively the only one here.
確かに足音がしたのに。
Oh, that just opened by itself. The mailbox was stuffed with vast quantities of tissue paper. The bottom layer of the stack had turned an unpleasant shade of brown. It may have just been from years of settling debris, but if that were the case, it shouldn't have been that dark. I slowly unwrapped the tissue, morbidly curious as to what I might find inside. It was only then that I noticed the inside of the mailbox itself, which was stained a deep crimson. It looked a whole lot like blood. A bird. I had unwrapped enough by then to see what was inside the tissue paper too. It was the skeletal remains of a bird. On the rusted panel of the mailbox from which I discovered this gruesome find was a name scribbled in permanent marker, Shinozaki. Okay, so I am at a different part of the school. Okay, I guess it ends there, but it's not showing me. So I guess I winded myself. Let's go inside. I guess I could have gone in at the main gate, but why not here? Persistent use of your flashlight will eventually kill its battery. If this happens, you'll need to find a new battery and use it, or you'll be left in the dark. Shinozaki, room 401. should have gone to the bathroom before coming here.
我慢しなきゃ。
Don't know what it is with them in bathrooms. Same thing in the first game as well. I'll knock. Let's see what happens.
すみません。
Okay, it didn't seem to do anything. How do I turn on the flashlight? Okay. L button. Alright, so that's all it shows me there. Okay, so I guess I do have to go on the main gate. Let's try to the right first, though, and see what's there. Alright, we couldn't go to the right. In addition to most of the name tags being missing from the mailboxes, the ones that remain are encrusted with dirt and decay and are only barely legible. Some, in fact, are just plain rotted out entirely, or the slots for them are rusted over. They look like props from a horror movie. Wink, wink.
ここには牧野さんの家はない。
No Makina Shinozaki here, I think. I should check one of the other stairwells. Okay, I found the other stairwell. Let me go ahead. Oh, I thought I was saying chapter instead of chapter 00. So still haven't really done anything yet, but I want to save often so I don't have to do things again. Alright, so I guess I do have to go up here and do something else with this door. Open it. I took a deep breath, mentally prepared myself for what I was about to attempt, and grabbed the steel doorknob. They don't have to have exposition for everything, I feel like. Foam.
びっくりさせないでよ。こんな時に。誰これ。知らない番号。もし。
Go, don't go, don't go, don't. Like how it gets softer and louder. 042444. Let me take out my pen. Something I might need to remember, which I wouldn't. I'm not going to write all of it down. I'm just going to write the first part. Is that what the don't go is in Japanese? Could be. I don't know though. And 44. Okay. It's about to use my computer to start trying to control it. Nani kore? It's not what the hell is. What's that? But I guess it could be said like that. Oh, that was the number of the phone. I see.
壊れたかな。やだ。もう。
So I opened it. The only thing to do is go inside.
すみません。怒りっぽい。人が住まなくなってから何年ぐらい経っているんだろう。お邪魔します。靴脱いだ方がいいかな。
Of course you should take off your shoes. Ooh, that's creepy.
人の声が。そうだ。篠崎よしえの家に行った時の記憶を生かさなくちゃ。
That would be great, but I don't remember what she did there.
今回はちゃんと用意したんだから。
お姉ちゃんが研究のために使ってたボイスレコーダー。
2008年11月10日午後7時48分、篠崎真希菜の家。捜索開始。私は大丈夫。頑張れる。あの学校とあの家をくぐってきた。
Alright, so I'm guessing school was the first game, then house was the second game. And yes, of course, saving, cause everybody talks really slowly. So definitely don't want to have to go through all that again. So the voice came from the right, so I'm gonna go to the left first. It's a Japanese style toilet. Fortunately, despite the condition of the apartment building in general, it seems to be a modern and fully functioning non-septic model without any foul smell.
水は出るのかな。大きな音で水が流れ出しても怖いな。なんでこんなにおしっこしたいんだろう。体調のせい。
Because weird people made the game and they have something about peeing. Sure, why not?
ダメ。このままじゃ漏れちゃう。
Sneaking into a deceased woman's abandoned apartment and using her bathroom. It was kind of absurd. Yeah, it is. But I almost felt like I was infiltrating the deepest chambers of an enemy base.
緊張して出ないや。
Ridiculous. For what sounded like my own relieved voice echoing back at me from the walls, I thought I'd finally done my business, but my bladder still felt completely full.
私まだして
I
ない
haven't gotten anything out at all.
何これ。血。天井から漏れてるわけでもないのに。
I should be reading this. It immediately brought to mind some lady slitting her wrists.
やだ、無理。
Should hold it for a bit longer. Let's go ahead and save so we don't have to do that again. It's ridiculous. Alright, now we can go in here.
山村さんの話だと、篠崎真希菜はすでに亡くなっているってことだけど。
Seems like she's dead, okay.
生活用品とか当時のままみたい。篠崎真希菜が亡くなった後、誰もここに入らなかったのかしら。やっぱり怖いよ。
On the tiny kitchen table sat numerous prescription bags and instructions. The name written on every bag was Makina Shinozaki.
やはり篠崎真希菜の家で間違いないようね。
In the corner formed by the wall of the refrigerator and the sink, there's an extremely disturbing amount of mold growing. Just breathing the air nearby feels hazardous to one's health. There aren't really any signs of food anywhere, however maybe Makina didn't eat much. There was a photo hanging from the freezer door. Though blurry and hard to make out, it seemed to be of a forest thick with mist, along with one additional detail that made it much worse.
私は大丈夫。私は大丈夫。
You're probably not going to be fine. Yeah, I hope YouTube doesn't do anything to the video because of all the talk of suicide. I mean, it's something that pretty much comes with a lot of horror games though, so hopefully not. Yeah.
やっぱり帰りたい。怖いよ。手がかり。手がかりって言ったって。見当もつかないけど。マキナさんの遺品をできるだけ持ち帰ってみよう。
Alright, we did that already. I was thinking we would take the photo with us. Nope. Let's see if we can look in here. There doesn't seem to be anything of note on the shelves. What about the stove? Nope, sand, mold. Don't know if I can see anything with the flashlight. Guess I have to go into the other rooms and see. Items lying about can be obtained by examining them. There may be hidden compartments or spaces in shelves and such as well, so be sure to examine everything carefully. Okay, and we're gonna do that next time. So stuff actually seems to be happening now. Hopefully the story that's happening won't cause YouTube to do anything to the video. But yeah, it's just a story. Nobody's actually doing anything about that yet. But yeah, so it's starting to get interesting, and hopefully stuff will start happening more in the next video. I think after this, maybe the first chapter will be over, or chapter 00, and we'll actually be able to get into the game and see some more horror stuff.